Hey, good morning, everybody. We'll get started in just a little bit after a little bit of Mozart. I would feel like I was being sacrilegious if I cut off Mozart right in the middle of that particular piece. And it's great to have all of you here on a Tuesday morning. I know this is a very busy week for us. Susie and I are in the final stretch of getting everything ready to make our big move down to Kentucky. If you're just joining us for the first time and you're like, "What's going on?" I have no idea. I thought the Wizard was in Wisconsin. Well, the Wizard has been in Minnesota, though I have not decided to wear purple yet. I've been in Minnesota for going on about 7 months, I guess, and now we're getting ready to pivot down to Middlesboro, Kentucky, which is Daniel Boone country. I almost said Paul Bunyan country. Daniel Boone country, right in the Appalachian Mountains. So really excited to make that move and get down there and get settled in. Figure out figure out that area and get established. So we're going to be doing a couple of things today. You might notice in the foreground there's a Singer machine that looks like it has a little bit of glitz and glamour to it, and that's because it's gotten some paint shop magic. It's gotten some paint shop magic, and this machine is going to be heading back to uh, an area called Sister Bay, Wisconsin. If any of you have ever heard of Sister Bay, Sister Bay is kind of a touristy area, and a lot of folks visit Harbor at the same time. Some pop over into Sturgeon Bay. So Sturgeon Bay, Egg Harbor, Sister Bay is all kind of a destination spot for people that want to go to a real pretty spot in Wisconsin. Some of you may have been there before, but is anyone looking at the framework of this machine? Does anyone recognize what model it is? Does anyone recognize what model this machine might be? And look at it closely because it might trick you. It might trick you just as it tricked me the first time I got pictures of this from Virginia. Virginia Erickson is the one that sent this machine to me some time ago and wanted that clear coat cleaned up and wanted to display this machine in her quilting business. She's got a quilting business in the Sister Bay, Wisconsin area called Twice the Quilt. Twice the Quilt. If anyone wants to Google it and kind of check out her business, Virginia Erickson, Twice the Quilt in Sister Bay, Wisconsin. So, but the machine was really dingy and cruddy and everything else when it first came to the workshop. And it looks like we've got a guest from um, Culano 115, not a 115. And it's also a great guess by Tim. It is not a 66 either. I knew it would kind of trick you a little bit because it even tricked me initially when I saw the machine um, and took a closer look at it. And then all of a sudden I said, "Oh, I know what that is." You see a little bit. It didn't restore the decals, but the decals overall are in really good condition. There's the rear of the machine there, side of it. Does anyone know what that decal pattern is called? And I'll just say some quick good mornings as well. And it's neat to see that and Tim, Teresa and Tim are in the live chat right now because Susie and I are going to be seeing them tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be Susie and I are going to get on the road early, and we are going to be traveling from Minneapolis to Thorpe, Wisconsin. And I've shared this with you all before. Thorpe, Wisconsin has a really cool restaurant. It's called the Torpedo, and the Torpedo offers some really, really unique plates, different options, all all kinds of unique plates. I think Susie's favorite. Well, Susie, what is your favorite shirt with the group? Because she says, I'm going to get that, even though I'm trying to reduce my dairy intake a little bit. I'm not going to sacrifice trying out my regular favorite plate. So y'all ask Susie what she's going to eat at the Torpedo tomorrow morning with Tim and Teresa and myself. Then you'll know one of her favorite dishes. At least when we're at the Torpedo, it is. Strawberry French toast with cream cheese filling. No calories either. No calories whatsoever. Yeah, I like Tim's description, kind of a clamshell decal. Um, some people will refer to this as a gingerbread pattern. Others will call it a Tiffany pattern. I like Tim's better. I think I'm going to start calling it the clamshell decal pattern. I think that's a perfect name for it, to be honest with you. But I'm going to give you the serial number, and finally, we can put to rest the suspenseful thought of what model this might be, what kind of model this is. And you'll notice that the badge mark, where normally the badge mark is going to be set a little bit higher, right about there, and then you're going to have your stitch length controller much larger. Look how small this is. It's probably about 30% smaller than most of the stitch controllers on the Model 66s. Oh, okay. And Kathy is saying it's called also the La Vincedora. The La Vincedora. I like that name best. I like that name best. Now, I don't know how many different patterns Singer had as far as machines, but this is definitely, I think it's one of the prettiest ones, don't you? Get real close to it here. And you can't really pick it up on the camera, I don't think, but the pattern right here has like a pearlized finish in it. I don't know if I can get the right camera angle to capture it or not. You can catch a little bit of it right there. But it's got a really cool pearlized look to the machine. So go ahead and look it up, would you? Someone look it up for us. And whoever wants to post it first, you might be the recipient of a special surprise, just like I got done mailing off to Alex out in California. I sent him the tracking for it yesterday, and I said, mailing you some goodies. Most of you know he won one of our recent contests, but I included some extra goodies beyond that, even a chunk of leather as well, if he wants to try sewing on some of the full grain leather that I showed in one of the recent live streams. Give me just a second here. Getting ready to deliver a really cool machine that I wish I had had an opportunity to present to all of you, but I ran out of time. And it was a really, really nice Centennial Singer 201-2. And the story behind it is the great grandmother of the gentleman that gave me the machine to restore it. That family ended up getting the machine after World War II when they were released from the encampment areas where they had Japanese Americans locked up. And right after they got released from that camp, they started getting their life, in order. They started, establishing themselves. And one of the first things that they wanted to get was a sewing machine, and they ended up getting this 201-2 Centennial model. And I had a chance to do a lot of work on it. Susie also worked with me on it as well. The paint was really encrusted and nasty. Oh, let me stop blah, blah, blah and give you the serial number so you can look it up. Actually, I'll show it to you. See if I can. Now, I'm not going to jostle the camera around. I'll give you the serial number and you can look it up. It's G like George. If someone wants to type it into the live chat, someone will type it in the live chat. It starts with G like George, 433 1018. So G433 1018 is the serial number. If someone wants to look it up and tell us what model it is, what the production group size is, and when this machine was born, that would be fabulous. And like I said, if you're the first one to type in the correct information into the live chat, um, I'll go ahead. If you reach out afterwards, I'll go ahead and mail you something special, kind of like I did with Alex yesterday out in California. And also, we're going to be doing it in person tomorrow with Teresa and Tim. Teresa won a couple of different things. She won a puzzle box. She won Guggenheim professional tailoring scissors, or shears, I should say. And Susie and I added a couple other little things in a bag. And we're actually going to be shooting video at the Torpedo tomorrow that we will present as a premiere on Saturday. That way, I'll also bring along, remember that featherweight I showed you guys, the Centennial featherweight? I'm also going to be giving away that featherweight tomorrow as well in the presence of two of our leaders, Tim and Teresa. And Teresa and Tim will have a hand in announcing who the winner is. And there may be some other surprises as well at that meeting. There might be some other surprises also. So give me just a second. I'm trying to answer some more questions from this family, this Japanese family that is going to be receiving back their 201-2 today. And they're very excited. They want to know how I packed it, how I'm going to be transporting it. Is it going to be under police guard? You know, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, they're really stoked about getting this machine back. So I want to put their mind at ease that I have given it a major, major packing protection to get it back to them today. So y'all just visit with each other a little bit. I don't see any answer in the live chat yet as far as the model, the dating of the machine, etc. How many were made in the production group for this machine? And then I'll move this out of the way in a little bit, and then we're going to be focusing on an unboxing of a machine that I sourced for Susie that is reminiscent of a machine that she learned to sew on as a little girl, and that belonged to her mother. So that'll be kind of exciting, uh, to find out what's in that box as well, won't it be? All right. I think I put their mind at rest. One more text. Well, you can imagine the historical significance of this machine being the first major purchase that this family made after being released from the internment camps or whatever they called them. Am I using the right term? The internment camps or whatever, where they locked up Japanese Americans for fear that they were going to be somehow a threat to the United States. Um, and as soon as they got out, they got this machine. I wish I could. I got pictures of it on my phone. Remind me at a future live stream. I'll show it to you, and I might even shoot a quick little video clip today when I deliver it. So almost done. He was saying he thinks it's a Model 28. Um, I might have made an error in looking it up. Let me just check. Oh, I bet I did. I bet I read it wrong. 4, 3. Ah, I'm looking at this a little closer now. I owe you guys an apology. I've got to revise the serial number. But you're in the right neck of the woods, and you guessed it right based on what I gave you. But I'm looking at this third number a little bit closer now, and I see that the third number is not a 3. Part of the enamel that fills it in is gone, um, and it's actually G438 438 1018. 438 1018. I apologize. That's my mistake. Uh, so again, G438 1018 is the correct serial number. I read that 8 is a 3 because part of the enamel was missing on it. So I apologize for that. So you're probably going to get a very different answer now. You're going to get a very different answer now. Yeah, I apologize, you guys. You know, sometimes the enamel wears out, and I've actually shown you in live stream how you can take a dental tool with a little bit of enamel paint, and you can actually fill those spaces in, which I have not done on this because it's got clear coat over it right now. Uh, but maybe I should do that so that someone else doesn't misread it as well. Yeah, thank you, Susie. 438 1018. 438 1018. Yeah. Oops. Oops. Sorry about that. I had you going down a rabbit hole. I had you going down a rabbit hole. All right. Making sure are we still active right now? I think we're active right now. Okay. I couldn't see. I've got a glare on the screen right now. I thought we had lost connection. I thought we had lost a connection. Okay. All right. Thanks. Thanks, Teresa. One of 50. No, someone put one of 50,000 made March 30th, 1910. I'm just totally messing you guys up today. I want to make sure I didn't misread it again. 4, 3. Did I read it? I didn't read it wrong again, did I? Yeah, that's correct. I got it right this time. 438 101. Yep. Okay. So if anyone guessed, and I'll let the leaders look and see what the guesses were, but based on my revised serial number of G438 438 1018, G438 1018. We in fact have a model 127, don't we? A model 127. There were 25,000 of them made in that production group, and this machine was born December 29th, 1915. The other interesting thing is this machine was not made in the United States. Where was it made? Did anyone notice that? And I'm not looking at the chat right now. Let me look at the chat. Where was it made? It wasn't made in the United States. Model 127. Oh, there, Susie added it in her summary right there. Where is St. John's? Does anyone know where St. John's is? Where is St. John's? Yep, Susie just typed it again. St. John's. Where is St. John's? I wish I wish one of our leaders was here that's from the north because she'd be able to tell us right away specifically where it is. You guys are really quiet today. You're very quiet today. St. John's is in Canada, isn't it? Can someone verify that? Can someone fact check that St. John's is in Canada? And I believe it's near Quebec, isn't it? St. John's is near Quebec. Singer had a a fairly large production plant up there. And if anyone wants to share any of the details on the production plant near Quebec, Canada, St. John's area, if anyone wants to share details on that factory, go ahead and add that to the live chat as well, if you would. Is Quebec, is that in Scotland, Tim? Why did I think that St. John's was in Canada? Son of a gun. Let me take a look. Now you got me curious. I'm just giving you guys all kinds of misinformation today. Is St. John's in Canada? Well, I was right. Ha ha! I was correct. St. John's is in the city of Newfoundland, which is in Canada. See if I can show you. Labrador, Canada, or something like that. Oh, Tim, I didn't know Tim was a golfer. How did I miss that? How did I miss that Tim was a golfer? That's super cool. Um, yeah, so apparently this machine was made in St. John's, according to the ISMAC summary, which is somewhere near Newfoundland, Canada, blah, blah, blah. And Tim and I need to go golfing now. I had no idea that. I had no idea. No idea that, wow, Tim is a golfer. How cool is that? Okay, so we've learned a little bit more about Model 127s now, haven't we? And it gets to be confusing because you've got 128, you've got 28, you've got 127, you've got Model 27s. Yeah, the earliest um, 127s would have a vibrating shuttle. A lot of them would. This is a little bit of a later model, kind of early 1915 time frame. 1915. And you'll notice a lot of the sticky sixes also went to a non-vibrating shuttle in the early 1900s as well. Put this over here on the way so it's safe. Move over our box now, finally. And I don't know if the leaders are able to kind of take over for a little bit. I'm going to move the microphone as well. The leaders can kind of take over for a little bit, and I'm going to invite Susie to come down to the workshop, the temporary workshop here, and share what she wants to share about her memories of her mom's machine. And I'm going to ask Susie not to reveal what that model is yet, but maybe she can share some thoughts on the machine that her mom had and just stuff like that. Grab a little stool for her. Stool that Susie can sit on as well. Move the microphone here. Hey, all right. So this is the box that came. This box actually came out of Chicago, Illinois. And I got a spot for you right here, Susie. See if I can get the camera stable and then we don't have to hold on to it as much. All right. So Susie, why don't you talk a little bit about your memories? And again, don't tell what machine it is, but talk about the memories of this machine. I believe you learned how to sew on it, and just any other details you want to share.
always mending to be done. And my mother, being so busy with 6 kids, didn't always have time for the mending. So one day she pulled the machine out, put it on the table, and said, "Why don't you give this a go and see what you can do? Let me show you how to thread it." And that was all the instruction I got. From there on out, it was up to me to figure out what was what. And back in that day and age, there were no manuals. This machine didn't have a manual. So I just played with it until I got it to work. And then started my journey learning how to sew, doing mending, ripped pockets, blue jeans needing zippers, that sort of thing.
Now you have sisters as well. Did any of your other siblings sew on the machine also?
No, they had no interest at all.
So you were the mender. You were the seamstress on site to take care of everybody's mending.
Yes, patches, everything.
Did your mom sew on it also?
I never actually saw her sew, but she said that she made clothes for us as we were younger, when we were babies. But she surely ran out of time. Just plain time management with a mom of 6 kids. She didn't have time to sew.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to join the other, you know what? You want to just hang down here while we open it? Okay. Susie's going to go upstairs and moderate, and let's start getting into this box and see what we find. And then you'll know a little bit more about the machine that inspired Susie to become the sewist that she is, a very accomplished sewist, although she always diminishes what her capabilities are. But let's see what this machine might be. And if anyone wants to throw a guess out there, maybe I can give you some clues. I'll see if I can look up some quick clues. And I'll put on some unboxing music. Maybe I can do that too. Some quick unboxing music. I'm trying to think. Oh, what kind of? Why don't I put on some totally ridiculous polka music for unboxing? Put on a little bit of polka music since I'll be in Wisconsin with Susie tomorrow. Infamous peanuts. All right, let me go ahead and pause the music. Okay, I'm going to pause music real quick. I'll give you a couple of clues, and maybe this will help you to zero in on what type of machine this may be. I'll tell you that the parent company that is on this machine is branded on this machine. The parent company um, came on the scene in the 1920s uh, as far as being involved with selling sewing machines. They came on the scene in the 1920s, and by the 1930s, most of their machines were being made by the White Sewing Machine Company and were being by rebadged with the name of this company. And other machines that were also in the mix as well, uh, associated with this company, are machines like the Franklin, the Minnesota, and yeah, I think that's probably enough. There's probably quite a few clues that may help you zero in on what kind of machine Susie learned how to sew on and did all the mending for her family back in the day. So again, they came on the scene, um, 1920s ish, and by the 1930s, the White Sewing Machine Company was making most, if not all, of the machines for this company. They had brands out there as well, Franklin, Minnesota, and they also had quite a large rotary series as well. I didn't mention that before. Okay, let me grab something to put all these peanuts in, and then we'll see if we can get this machine out of there. All right. Process of gathering peanuts now. Harvesting peanuts. I should contact Jimmy Carter. I don't know if he's still. Is Jimmy Carter still alive? Our peanut farmer that became president? No. They're kind of interesting peanuts too. I haven't seen this style before. Got a little bit more music while I'm doing it. All right, we're down to plastic now. We're down to plastic. Let me move this container out of the way. See if we can begin to unveil what this machine is. I'll look at the live chat and see if anyone got any close guesses to what this machine might be. Let's see here. Also should say good morning to some folks too as well, shouldn't I? Hold on a second. Scroll up. First in the classroom, no surprise. First in the classroom was Susie, and right on her heels was Teresa, the one that we're going to have the privilege of having breakfast with tomorrow. Teresa and Tim. So the folks in Fort Wisconsin get up early. Yes, they do. And then our buddy Al Koss out in California was very next. And I should show you a picture. Some of you all don't do Facebook. I know this. Some of you do not do Facebook. So let me see if I can pull that picture up that Alex shared with me yesterday. Let's see here. There he is. So this is, let me turn up my brightness a little bit on the screen too. This is Alex, one of our leadership team members. And he took this photo at, well, I'll tell you what, Alex is here. I'll invite Alex to share. Where was he when he took this picture yesterday? Where was Alex yesterday when he took this picture? But you can see he's got on. I think you can see. Camera's trying to focus on it, sort of. The camera's not wanting to focus on it right now. But Alex has on the cow country hat that Susie made that we sent out to him quite some time ago. And I'll say good morning to the rest of the folks. He also shared one other picture as well. Where was it? Another picture. Maybe this will help you guess where it is. Camera's having a little trouble focusing today, I think. Looks like what is that, a dolphin or a porpoise or something? I'll say good morning to everybody else too, real quick. So Alex will hopefully share where that photo was taken. Good morning also to Deborah Williams. And good morning to Tim, who I'll be having breakfast with tomorrow along with Teresa. And then we've got Coco Ton 6. Great to have Coco Ton 6 with us as well. And who else do we have? Kathy King. Great to have Kathy King with us. Let's see here. Still scrolling, still scrolling, still scrolling. And if I miss anybody, please let me know. I'm just kind of scrolling down the chat real quick right now. And I don't see a response from Alex. Maybe Alex had to step away. It's possible Alex had to step away. I know he's oftentimes busy doing things with his family and other things like that. Well, let's see here. See if I can find his text message. And I believe Teresa just nailed it. Let me see if I can find his note again. Oh, okay. Did Teresa say SeaWorld? Yeah, she did. I'm reading Teresa's note right now on the computer. Yes, it is SeaWorld, and it is in San Diego, California. San Diego, California. And if any of you remember the series, Simon and Simon, do you remember that the two brothers that were detectives, private detectives, and they had all kinds of adventures. That was filmed in San Diego, California, one of the prettiest places probably in our country. Just beautiful weather all the time there. And that's where Alex was. I don't know if he was there on business with his family. The way he was dressed, I'm guessing he was probably with his family and just kind of chilling and enjoying that area and enjoying that park. But yeah, great guess, Teresa. I don't know that I would have been able to guess SeaWorld from that. But, has anyone ever been to San Diego, California before? When my dad was in the Marine Corps, we lived in Vista, California. And Vista, California is about 40 miles north of San Diego. So we were within striking distance of San Diego. And I believe we traveled there a couple of times, but I was just a little guy, so I don't remember much about it. But San Diego's they just have some of the most spectacular weather. If you ever get tired of like a cold winter in Wisconsin or Minnesota or any of those other cold states, um, and you need to get away for a while, consider going to San Diego, California. It's just absolutely a beautiful place, truly a beautiful place. All right, no blah blah blah. Let me work on getting this unveiled a little bit more. I don't think anyone threw any guesses out there based on the clues that I gave you as far as what machine this might be. But again, the White Sewing Machine Company would have had a hand in making this machine. This machine would have been from the 1950s. The machine that's in here would have been from the 1950s, probably around 1953, something like that. So if that helps you as well, 1950s, the White Sewing Machine Company made it for another company, and they also rebadged other machines like the Franklin, the Minnesota, and they also made a number of different rotary style machines also. So if that helps you zero in, if it doesn't, and I'm giving horrible clues, um, then let me know. We're having some audio issues. How's the audio now? It could be our internet. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Is that any better? Is anyone else having audio issues? Teresa mentioned that she's having some audio issues on her side. Let me shut my phone off from the internet, see if that helps a little bit. Audio's good? Okay, so Susie's got good audio right now. Okay, let me know if anyone else has any audio or video issues. And not much we can do about it, but at least we know. And that way maybe I can report that to YouTube, or Susie can report it to her internet provider. The breakfast of champions. Diet Coke. And I've been a bad influence on Susie. I've gotten her drinking Diet Cokes regularly. And so, yeah, we're supporting that company. So if you own Coke stock, we are helping your profits right now. We're helping your profits. All right, let's get into this machine a little bit more and see if we can see what we got. I'll put on a little bit more music while we're doing that. Maybe something other than polka. I do love polka music though, because it's one of the few musics that almost anyone can dance to it. All you have to do is bump, 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 and you're doing a polka. Who knew? So yeah, good stuff. And I will mention that the initial impression of how this machine was packed was not very good. Uh, Susie actually brought it inside and said that you could feel the machine uh, through the box. So I'm hoping that the machine did not get damaged. But some folks just don't know how to pack a Bennett sewing machine, right? And I've covered that a lot. If you don't know it on this YouTube channel, there's video after video after video of how to pack a Bennett sewing machine. So check out that playlist if you're having to pack a machine or if you bought a machine and you want to give some pointers to the person that sold you the machine. Go ahead and check out that playlist. It's basically how to box a Bennett sewing machine, and there's several there. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to give those tips to a person that I was communicating with yesterday. Susie's aware of this. I was communicating with a person out in the state of Susie. Was it Oregon, or was it Washington State? I don't remember. But they have a first edition featherweight that was one of the first machines made in 1933 and was, I believe, purchased at the Chicago World's Fair. So it's possible they'll be sending me that machine to service it, and then on their behalf, kind of like I did with my friend, also from Illinois, uh, I'll be offering that machine for sale. So keep your fingers crossed that we can have the opportunity to present that first edition featherweight from 1933. It was actually born on October 3rd, 1933, one of the very first 10,000 machines made. And Susie's going to do more digging to see if she can find out what number it was as far as the production. But that'll be a lot of fun if I have a chance to present that machine and to offer it for sale on behalf of that owner. They got these little pockets of bubble wrap just kind of randomly stuck in there. I don't know how much good it's doing, but there you go. I also have to thank Emma, who's not had a chance to be in the live streams for quite a while. But Emma from the great state of Florida had sent me these scissors because I always talked about when you're opening up a machine that's been shipped to make sure you point the scissors away from the machine so you don't poke in and scratch it. Well, these naturally they're designed in surgical applications to take off gauze and bandages and that. They're automatically they've got a little guard on there and they're pointed away, so they're really really nice for opening things. So thanks again to Emma for sending those. I don't know how many layers of plastic these people have, but I don't see any real I don't see any real padding. There's other than those little a couple little random pockets of bubble wrap, and there's actually it feels like there's something inside of here. So I can open it up. I almost was going to toss this away, and I'm glad I didn't. You know, it'd be nice if they had labeled this. They just had this stuck in there with the machine, and I pushed on it. All of a sudden, I could feel, aha! It's a bobbin case. They could have written on the, taken a permanent marker and written on here, bobbin case. If somebody else going through here quickly might have just tossed it away, right? There's our bobbin case for this machine. If that helps any of you zero in on it, see if I can get real close and show you. There's the bobbin case right there. Looks like a Long Beak shuttle design, doesn't it? A Long Beak shuttle design. Yeah. Almost similar to that Sashako or Shishumi or whatever it was machine that Susie just presented recently. A similar bobbin case to that. We're getting a glimpse of it there too. Finally. Any guesses? What kind of machine are we looking at? What kind of machine from the 1950s, right around 1953? That is a lot of plastic. I think I could cover one or two cars with this stuff. Holy mackerel. All right, I'm just going to tell you this wiring looks a little bit scary. This wiring looks just a little bit scary, but I can fix that. And this was set up to be in a table. This was set up to be in a table. You can see the knee controller that is set up with this machine right now. Now, y'all can ask Susie, the machine that Susie learned to sew on, was that also a knee controller like this, or was it set up like a foot controller? Because they would have done both. They would have done both. See if we can unwind this. I don't think I'm going to fire it up. I don't think so. I might. I can untangle this wiring, and then I'll take a closer look at the wiring, see whether or not I feel it's safe to operate it. This machine again came out of Chicago, Illinois. And trying to find the end of the wire here. Here it is. Looks like we got the light's doing a little dance. Okay. I'll have to take a closer look at that. Turn it this way so you can see the front of the machine a little bit more clearly. Yeah, the wiring is really, really filthy, but I don't see any breaks in the wiring. So I would be inclined to say that we could probably try firing it up. It's not turning so great. It's actually stopping right there. Oh, I see. Okay. And this is what happens. I talked about this recently. Remember that golden machine that I presented recently? And I talked about that when you have these rotary style machines and you're not using the machine for a while, to put something in between the friction pulley and the balance wheel. Otherwise, you get a big dimple on it, and it ruins the pulley. You can see right here on the back of this machine. It just totally destroys it, doesn't it? So even if even if we can fire this thing up, see, it's not gonna turn that pulley, and it's not gonna turn the balance wheel because you basically have a dimple in there right now from it being left like this. So this pulley's gonna have to get replaced. But maybe we can at least check the motor to see if the motor's gonna run, right? The pulley does turn, so I'll see if we get any response from the motor, but I'll have to kind of pull this away from the machine a little bit so that we can check it. That's plugged in correctly. No breaks in the wiring that I can see. I know Susie's going to attack this paint to see if she can clean that up. So I sent this information to Susie earlier. I don't know if she wants to share what model this is. If she wants to share what model this machine is, she can certainly do that. They sure make it easy as far as knowing forward and reverse, don't they? This person must have had a dog. A dog or a cat? Is that dog hair or cat hair on the machine? Probably dog hair because I'd be sneezing if it were cat hair. The light's a little bit iffy. I might try plugging it in, but the light's a little bit iffy right there with the cord. It may just be loose. I'll actually turn the machine around so you can see the motor. It's got the nomenclature plate and everything attached to it. There's our faceplate area if you want to see that. The threading on these machines can be a little bit tricky. It's part of our threading right there coming off the top. And then I'll show you the data plate on the side. I'll try to show you the data plate. Let's see here. I'll get nice and maybe I can wipe it off a little bit. Hold on. What size motor do we have on this rotary machine? What size motor is that? 60, what's that say? 65 watts? Do you see the amperage on there? What's the amperage on that machine? Can you see that in the shot? What's our amperage? Yeah, zero point 0.6 amps. Zero point 0.6 amps. So it's going to have the same size motor as a machine like a Singer 1591. It's going to have the same size motor as most of the Singers. A lot of the Singers were 0.54, but they were pretty much ramping up to 0.6. It's going to have the same size motor as a 201-2, the Rolls Royce of Singers. So it's a good size motor on this rotary. You saw that with the Golden machine as well. They're very, very strong machines. Very strong machines. Take a look at the bottom. See if I can tilt it back a little bit. And you can see the remnants of what happens when you have people that use that older style oil instead of using the lily white or the crystal white sewing machine oil that doesn't have any coloring in it. They use the older style oil that had like a caramelized color to it, and then they over oil it, and it ends up staining the machine like this. It gets on there, it's sticky, and it hardens, and it starts restricting the movement of the machine and everything. You can see this one has a lot of cleanup that you're gonna have. That's gonna have to be done to it. A lot of cleanup. And we can also cause Sears, apparently. Look at that. Sears service. Call yards 77500 or something like that. I doubt that phone number is active any longer. I doubt. It's a similar setup to that machine that we just saw recently. Did anyone else see that live stream on the Golden machine? Yeah, I think it was the new home, wasn't it? Here we've got another plate that we can take a look at. I'll have to clean it off a little bit. This is on the underside of the bed on the front, and it's going to give us a lot of that information that Susie already shared in the live chat. See if I can get nice and close to this so you can see that plate yourself. And then Susie, I believe, posted a site as far as looking up Kenmore machines. So we'll see if we can read the serial number. I don't know if we'll be able to. And then you could always look it up yourself and just verify that it is from the 1950s, right around 1953. But the rotary series machines were incredibly popular, real strong machines, and they were really affordable too. Very affordable in the day. There it is. So it looks like the serial number. I haven't had much success in giving you serial numbers today. So I'll let one of the leaders capture the serial number, and then somebody can fact check it and go to the archives for Kenmore and verify the year production for this machine. But it does look like it's probably what is it, 385350? 385350, I believe. Any other folks out there have Kenmores? I know we've got some very, very strong followings for Kenmore. A lot of groups. I've gotten contacted before when I presented a Kenmore, and people got very excited about talking about all the Kenmore machines they had, and very devoted to that brand. Very devoted. Let's see if I can spin this the right way so we can plug this in and see whether or not we can have fireworks. Hopefully not. Hopefully no fireworks. This knee controller is not feeling so great. Kind of like it's broken. I'm not sure what we're going to get. Yeah, it feels like the spring is broken inside of this. I may have to change this to a foot controller. There's no response really at all. See, well, we'll see what happens, huh? I've got a fire extinguisher nearby, but hopefully we won't need it. Hopefully we won't need it. Where's my fire extinguisher? Oh, I know. I stuck it in one of the totes to get a weight as far as extra materials. So it's across the room, but I can get to it fairly quick if I need to. Hopefully won't have to. So positive response from the light, even though the light's kind of dangling. And be careful with light assemblies like this. By the 1950s, they were doing a better job of grounding these. But there are light assemblies that, excuse me, light assemblies on some of the sewing machines that are not grounded. And if you touch two parts of the sewing machine light adjacent to where the power comes in, you can get a little shock off of them. So be careful about that. Be careful. I'm not trying to get shocked. I'm just checking it out here. But I don't think we're going to get any response from the motor unless we try to do a bypass on it, maybe. because the foot controllers, the knee controller is really, really wonky. I'm also going to touch it carefully and see that I don't get shocked from it. Yeah, no response from the knee controller at all. No response. So what we can try to do is, let me go ahead and unplug it real quick. We pull this plug off right here to the back of the motor. And you can see we've got 3 prongs on the back of this Kenmore rotary. We'll check to see how it's set up, but 2 of them are going to be for the light. The other 2 are going to be to drive the motor. So we'll see if we can do a little bit of quick testing, see if we can get a response from this motor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little separation in here to pull it away from the balance wheel, since the pulley is damaged. And it's not going to turn anyway because it's got that dimple on it right now. We'll see if we can pull this away from the machine and just test the motor real quick. Because if the motor is no good, that'll create a little bit more of an obstacle in getting this machine up and running. But I'll still be able to do it. Let's see here. How about a little piece of veg tan leather? I'll take a little piece of veg tan leather and see if I can stick it in between there. Push it away from, yeah, it's free of the balance wheel now. And I'll grab my bypasser, see if we can do a quick bypass on this. And if you're new to our channel and you've never seen me do a bypass before, it's helpful to know how to do that so that you can do it yourself. If you've got a machine, you might have a motor and you don't have a foot controller, you can try to figure out how to do a bypass so you can check a motor and determine whether or not you have an electrical issue, you have a motor issue, or you have a foot controller issue. Sometimes hard to know, isn't it? All right, how about a little bit of dramatic music as I get ready to see if we can get this motor fired up? Something other than polka music. Can I put on? Maybe some dance music. Or why don't I do Japanese music, since Susie and I are going to meet with that Japanese customer next. As soon as we finish this live stream, we're going to go visit that customer and drop off their 201-2 that I just got done restoring. And it's Susie did a beautiful job of cleaning the patina up on it. All right, over here. It's probably going to be our our light. We'll give it a try first. Oh, And no response from the motor there. So now we're going to move this over. We may have a bad motor, but we'll move this over and see if we can get a positive response over here. Those two are touching, so I've got to put one more piece of tape in there. I'll see if I can hold them apart just so we don't get an unexpected shock here. Here we go. So we've got a bad knee controller. I'll see if I can repair it. Otherwise, we'll have to convert it to a foot controller. But thank goodness we've got a good motor. And then we'll also have to change out the pulley as well.